You are not ready for this. ASAP Rocky just got caught up in another cheating scandal, and this time, it's messier than ever. Not only is the internet dragging him for allegedly betraying Rihanna yet again, but rumors are flying that the side chick is pregnant. And if that wasn't bad enough, Rihanna herself is reportedly expecting their third child. This might just be the biggest betrayal of 2025, and the receipts are ugly. So, is Rihanna finally done with Rocky, or is she about to add stepmom to her list of titles? Buckle up, because we need to break this down. The internet is on fire because ASAP Rocky has just been slammed with explosive cheating allegations. Multiple insider leaks are claiming he's been sneaking around behind Rihanna's back, and the timing couldn't be worse. Whispers are already swirling that Rihanna might be expecting again, and now this. Fans are in complete shock, flooding social media with outrage. Cheating on Rihanna, the woman who turned a global empire into a personal brand of unstoppable success, is being called career suicide. Memes, hashtags, and furious callouts are everywhere, with some saying there's no forgiveness for disrespecting the queen herself. And if these rumors are true, ASAP Rocky might have just made the biggest mistake of his life, and there's no undoing it. But if you've been keeping up, you know, this isn't the first time ASAP Rocky's loyalty has been questioned. Flashback to 2022. While Rihanna was heavily pregnant with their first child, the internet nearly broke after rumors exploded that Rocky was allegedly caught getting a little too close to a well-known fashion insider. At the time, insiders swore he had been sneaking around during Paris Fashion Week. And although both Rihanna and Rocky shut down the rumors publicly, fans never really bought the everything's perfect story. The trust had already started to crack. And let's not forget the messy whispers about his wild partying. Nights out that allegedly didn't end until sunrise, with mystery women conveniently left out of the official narratives. Even back then, people were side-eyeing Rocky, wondering how much Rihanna was willing to overlook for the sake of her growing family. Now, with these new cheating allegations surfacing at a time when pregnancy rumors are once again heating up, the pattern is looking a little too familiar. And the internet, they haven't forgotten anything. And just when people thought things had calmed down, the drama came crashing back, live and unfiltered. It all started during a chaotic live stream hosted by popular YouTuber Canal Joseph. What was supposed to be a fun, random hangout quickly spiraled into a full-blown internet scandal when an OnlyFans model, who just happened to be on camera, dropped a bombshell without even realizing it. In a moment that's now been replayed and dissected 1,000 times, the model, casually sipping her drink, leaned over and whispered something to her friend. And even though the mic didn't catch the full audio, fans immediately jumped into forensic mode. Lip readers across TikTok and Twitter swear she said, "Yeah, I hooked up with Rocky, it was wild." The chat exploded instantly. People spamming, "What did she just say?" and "Not Rihanna's man." While Canal Joseph, completely blindsided, tried to keep the energy light. His face said it all, though. Wide eyes, nervous laughter, trying desperately to move on without addressing the bomb that had just been dropped right there on his platform. But it was too late. Screenshots were snapped. Clips were clipped. Within minutes, hashtags like hashtag #ASAPRockyExposed and hashtag #ProtectRihanna were trending worldwide. Fans flooded the comments with rage, disbelief, and heartbreak. Many were furious that Rocky, after everything Rihanna has done for him, would risk it all over a random hookup, and with a known OnlyFans creator at that. It felt not just like betrayal, but full-blown public humiliation. The moment the clip went viral, the OnlyFans model realized she had stepped straight into a firestorm, and it didn't take long for her to start scrambling. Within hours, she jumped onto Twitter, desperate to put the genie back in the bottle. But instead of calming the situation down, her panic denials only poured gasoline on the flames. First, she tweeted and deleted, "Y'all are crazy, I never said that. Y'all lip-sync experts are wild LOL." Minutes later, she posted again, this time even more frantic. "For real though, I don't even know Rocky like that. Stop playing with my name before I sue." But the internet wasn't buying it. Fans immediately pointed out that she had never actually said she didn't hook up with him, only that people were misinterpreting her words. Worse, Her timeline quickly turned into a chaotic mess, with her posting long, emotional rants about clout chasers and fake news, even though she was the one caught on a live stream in the first place. Screenshots of her contradictions spread just as fast as the original video. One moment she claimed she had never even met A$AP Rocky, and the next she was ranting about how everyone makes mistakes. That slip alone had fans dragging her mercilessly, asking, "What mistake? If you never met him, what mistake?" At one point, she even tried a full pivot, claiming she was just drunk and joking with friends, and that everyone needed to touch grass. But by then, it was way too late. Her attempts at damage control came off as sloppy, insincere, and just plain suspicious. Instead of putting out the fire, she basically waved a giant flag confirming that something shady definitely went down, and the internet wasn't about to let it slide. While the internet was busy dissecting every second of that chaotic live stream, Rihanna herself was moving in complete silence. But her fans, they were paying attention. And if you knew what to look for, the clues were all there, and they were loud. First, let's talk about the fashion. Over the past few weeks, Rihanna has been seen wearing nothing but oversized jackets, baggy sweatshirts, and loose-fitting outfits. A major shift for someone who practically reinvented maternity fashion during her first pregnancy by proudly showing off her bump. It wasn't just cozy winter vibes either. These fits screamed, "I'm hiding something." Fans noticed immediately, flooding her Instagram comments with speculation like, is she covering up a baby bump or what? Then there was the rolling loud moment. And this was where things really started clicking. Rihanna showed up unexpectedly to support A$AP Rocky's set. But instead of her usual, glamorous public appearance, she stayed bundled up backstage, avoiding cameras and moving carefully. Eyewitnesses said she kept placing her hand protectively over her stomach, a familiar gesture for anyone who remembers her first pregnancy reveal. It wasn't the high-energy, front-row Rihanna fans were used to. It was low-key, almost cautious. And in hindsight, it felt like she was trying to quietly send a message without confirming anything officially. And the cherry on top, insiders close to Rihanna's team started whispering that her lawyers had recently been extra active, specifically warning bloggers and media outlets to respect her privacy regarding family matters. That instantly triggered alarms across the fandom. When Rihanna's legal team gets involved, it's never random. It's strategic. It's planned. And it usually means that something major is happening behind the scenes that she's not ready to make public just yet. Put it all together, the oversized clothes, the careful public appearances, the legal pressure. And it's not hard to see why fans are convinced that Rihanna might be pregnant again, and that this scandal just got about 10 times messier than anyone originally thought. Now, if you think this whole situation feels like déjà vu, you're absolutely right. Because this isn't the first time A$AP Rocky's name has been dragged through the mud over cheating allegations. Not even close. In fact, it's starting to feel like a pattern that just keeps looping, no matter how high the stakes get. Let's rewind to one of the biggest scandals that almost blew up the internet. The rumors about Rocky and Amina Mwadi, Rihanna's own trusted friend and shoe designer. Remember that? It was during Rihanna's first pregnancy, when the world was still celebrating her and Rocky's love story. Out of nowhere, whispers started flying that Rocky had allegedly hooked up with Amina behind Rihanna's back. The rumor exploded so fast that Amina herself had to step in and shut it down, calling the claims an unfounded lie on Instagram. But by then, the damage was already done. Even though there was no hard evidence, the idea that Rocky could even entertain that kind of betrayal planted a seed of doubt in fans' minds. A seed that's clearly never stopped growing. And that wasn't even the end of it. Fast forward a few months, and Asian Doll, yes, that Asian Doll, stirred up more chaos when she randomly tweeted that A$AP Rocky had tried to get at her while still being with Rihanna. She didn't drop full receipts, but the timing was suspicious. It happened right when fans were celebrating Rihanna's first baby shower of all times. Asian Doll eventually backpedaled, saying it wasn't serious. But again, the whisper of disloyalty stuck, and the public started side-eyeing Rocky even harder. And if that wasn't messy enough, we also had Summer Bunny, a name you might recognize if you remember the Offset and Cardi B drama. Summer Bunny claimed in interviews that Rocky had been hitting her up behind Rihanna's back too. Her story didn't catch fire the same way, mostly because people weren't sure how credible she was. But honestly, at that point, it didn't matter. The pattern was already there, and people were starting to notice. Every single time, the script is the same. Denials fly. Reputations get defended. Fans get gaslit into thinking they're overreacting. And yet, the rumors never fully die. They linger. They haunt. They leave little cracks in the fairy tale, just big enough for the next scandal to break through. And now, here we are again. Different woman, same storyline. Different day, same betrayal. It's not just about one cheating accusation anymore. It's about a history of shady behavior that keeps repeating itself, louder and messier, every time. At this point, fans are asking, if there's smoke every few months, how are we still pretending there's no fire? For a brief moment, it really looked like everything was going to be okay. After all the drama, all the cheating whispers and online chaos, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky decided to hit the reset button, and where better to do that than Barbados, Rihanna's beloved home island? The pictures that came out were pure magic. Rihanna was glowing, rocking her baby bump with pride, draped in colorful beach wraps and oversized sunglasses, while Rocky was right by her side, smiling like nothing had ever happened. They were photographed swimming, jet skiing, walking hand in hand across white sand beaches like a couple straight out of a music video. And for fans, it felt like a sign, a peace offering, proof that maybe, just maybe, all the scandal was just noise and the real story was love winning in the end. On social media, the energy shifted fast. Posts about the cheating drama started to fade. Headlines moved on. Everyone seemed ready to believe that the worst was behind them, that the trip to Barbados had reset everything, healed the wounds, and given Rihanna the calm, beautiful pregnancy she deserved. Fans were practically breathing a collective sigh of relief. But just when it seemed like the dust had finally settled, boom. As soon as they landed back in Los Angeles, the entire fantasy shattered. At LAX, with cameras flashing and fans watching in real time, A$AP Rocky was arrested in connection with a completely separate case, a shooting that had allegedly taken place months earlier. Suddenly, Rocky was being handcuffed on the tarmac, hauled away by police in full view of everyone. The internet erupted. Within minutes, all that Barbados peace was obliterated. The headlines flipped back to chaos. Instead of celebrating the couple's island getaway, everyone was now buzzing about Rocky's arrest, the case details, and what Rihanna must have been feeling. Heavily pregnant, blindsided, and watching the man she trusted getting shoved into a police car. What was supposed to be a clean reset turned into yet another public disaster. And for fans, it was the ultimate sign that the fairy tale image they were clinging to might have just been smoke and mirrors after all. And just when it felt like things couldn't get any worse for A$AP Rocky, new allegations started pouring in. And this time, it wasn't just whispers. It was screenshots. Enter Jilly O'Donnell, a British mother of 3 living a quiet life far from Hollywood, until she dropped a bombshell that rocked the internet. Jilly came forward claiming that A$AP Rocky had been sliding into her DMs, sending flirty messages, and trying to link up with her, all while Rihanna was very visibly pregnant with their first child. Screenshots allegedly showed Rocky messaging Jilly things like, "You're sexy," and even trying to arrange meetups when he was supposed to be focused on building a family with one of the biggest icons in the world. Fans immediately caught onto the timeline, and the receipts were damning. Because guess what? The dates on those DMs? They lined up suspiciously well with Rihanna's pregnancy milestones. While the world was celebrating Rihanna's baby bump reveal, gushing over her maternity fashion, and watching her glow, Rocky, if these messages are real, was allegedly out here acting like a man with no consequences. It was like a slap in the face, not just to Rihanna, but to all the fans who had spent months defending him, insisting the relationship was rock solid. The betrayal felt personal, and Jilly wasn't some clout-chasing influencer looking for 15 minutes of fame. She was literally a regular woman, which made the story even more believable and even more heartbreaking. If Rocky could be chasing women in private DMs while Rihanna was carrying his child and elevating his status by being associated with her. What else was happening that the public didn't know about? The fallout was immediate. Fans took to Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, dragging Rocky for filth and warning that if you cheat on Rihanna while she's pregnant, you're not just trash, you're done. Career over. Reputation shattered. Once again, the dream of a perfect little family was cracking wide open right before everyone's eyes. And this time, the betrayal hit even harder because it wasn't a rumor. It looked like proof. But as the dust started to settle, the internet did what it always does. It began picking apart Jilly O'Donnell's story. And that's when things got messy again. Because while the screenshots seemed convincing at first glance, some fans started asking questions that couldn't be ignored. First off, the obvious. How do you not know who A$AP Rocky is? We're talking about a global superstar, Rihanna's partner, a man whose face has been plastered all over the internet, red carpets, fashion campaigns, and music videos. And Jilly, a grown woman with 3 kids, claimed she had no idea who he was? That alone raised eyebrows. Skeptics pointed out that even if she wasn't a fan of rap or pop culture, she would have had to be living completely off the grid to have missed the global headlines about Rihanna's pregnancy and the man standing beside her. The whole situation made people wonder, was this real? Or was Jilly chasing her own moment in the spotlight? Then came the timeline inconsistencies. The DMs she posted didn't always match up with Rocky's known whereabouts. Some fans tracked tour dates, red carpet events, and even paparazzi sightings, trying to figure out if he could have realistically been messaging her at the time she claimed. And let's just say, some things didn't quite line up. Others pointed out the DM language itself. It was a little too generic, almost like something copied and pasted. Rocky has always been known for his distinct voice, his swagger, the way he talks. And these messages? They read like something from a high school Tinder chat. No personality, no rhythm. Nothing that screamed, this is A$AP Rocky. And the question nobody could shake. Why would a celebrity of Rocky's level be sliding into the DMs of a completely unknown, older woman halfway across the world and risking everything while dating one of the most powerful women on the planet? Yes, men cheat. Yes, ego makes people reckless. But this felt a little too strange. That's when theories began to split. One side still believed Jilly, clinging to the idea that even Rihanna could be betrayed by a man who didn't know how to value her. But the other side? They started calling it a clout chase, a planted story, or worse, a distraction from the real drama boiling behind the scenes. And just like that, Jilly went from a sympathetic figure exposing a cheater to a questionable player in a much murkier game. Was she telling the truth? Was she manipulated into going public? Or was this whole thing just another viral moment built on shaky receipts? No matter the answer, the damage was already done. The story had gone global. Rihanna's name was back in headlines, Rocky's loyalty was once again in question, and the internet couldn't stop spiraling. As the internet's timeline fills up with cheating rumors, leaked DMs, and fan theories, one thing becomes painfully clear. This isn't the first time Rihanna's name has been dragged through this exact kind of mess. The faces may change. The models may rotate. The receipts may look different. But the betrayal? The embarrassment? The silence? It's all beginning to feel disturbingly familiar. Through it all, Rihanna has remained mostly quiet. No public statements, no Twitter rants, no messy Instagram unfollows. Just carefully curated photos, strategic fashion choices, and maybe a loaded look or two at public events. Her silence isn't weakness, it's calculated. But silence doesn't mean she's unaffected. This is a woman who's built an empire on her own terms. She's conquered the music world, reshaped the beauty industry, and set new standards for what it means to be a mogul. She is not the girl waiting by the phone for a man to explain himself. And yet, with every news scandal, we're forced to watch her name get tangled in another man's mess. It begs the question, how many times does a woman like Rihanna have to be tested before she finally says, enough? This isn't just gossip. It's a cycle, a high-profile, public cycle of betrayal and endurance. Fans have watched her forgive, ignore, and carry on with grace. But grace has a limit. And when that limit breaks, it doesn't snap, it shatters. The rumors. The OnlyFans girl. The whispers in the crowd at Rolling Loud. The side eyes from other celebrities. The lips being read in clips. The Twitter threads analyzing every outfit, every interaction. All of it is building to something. Because when a woman like Rihanna walks away, she doesn't just walk. She burns the whole narrative down behind her. So now, the world waits. Not to see if another woman will come forward or if Rocky will deny it again. No, this time, we're all waiting for her. The woman at the center of it all. The one who hasn't said a word, but doesn't need to. And the only question that matters now? Is Rihanna finally done protecting a man who keeps making her the fool? Or is this the moment she rewrites the ending? On her terms?